Front squats is a complex exercise where you need to be very technical with your movement patterns. It places the most tension on our quadriceps, our glutes, and our core. It's actually an amazing core strengthening exercise. There are a couple different grips that you can choose from. This is called the clean grip, and it's the most preferred grip. You're going to walk under the bar and place the bar so it runs across your fingertips and over top of the front portion of your shoulders. The bar is located over top of your clavicle, so the bar is not so close to your neck that you're feeling it pressed up against your throat. There's a little bit of space. There should be this little shelf where the bar feels comfortable to rest on. If you're unable to get into clean position, because maybe you have a wrist injury or a shoulder problem, you can use the crossed arm grip. You're setting the bar along the same aspects of the front of your shoulders, but you're going to cross your arms over top. It is extremely important that you keep your elbows high throughout the front squat. We do not want your elbows dropping. The upper portion of your arm should almost be parallel to the ground at all times. It is also important that you create the feeling that you're shoving your elbows towards each other throughout the entire exercise. The reason for this is it takes out the slack in our shoulder joints. We want to keep our shoulders tight. So once again, keep the feeling that you're shoving your elbows towards each other. Set the bar in the rack so it's at nipple height. This will allow you to set up under the bar so you can squat and drive through your heels and unload the bar from the rack. You will then take a couple small steps back to get into your starting position. Your feet should be shoulder width apart or slightly wider. Your feet can either point directly in front of you or could be slightly rotated outwards. You need to pick the stance that is most comfortable for you, but it's extremely important with your stance that your feet are symmetrical. Whatever your right foot looks like, your left foot looks the same. In your initial position, you need to have your abdominals contracted. I also want you to do what we call screwing your heels into the ground. Create the feeling that you're shoving your heels towards each other. Right away you'll feel your legs tense up and also your hips. Begin descending in your squat with feeling the weight go through the center of your feet. As you begin descending, you want to push your knees outwards and you want to make sure your abdominals stay contracted. As you reach your bottom position, you want to feel your weight being embedded through your heels and into the ground. Once you've reached this bottom position, you want to squeeze your butt cheeks together as hard as you can and then drive through your heels to return back to your starting position. Let's review some of the technical cues. In initial position, your abdominals are contracted. Begin descending in your squat by pushing your knees out and feeling the weight go through the center of your feet. As you get into the bottom position, you want to feel your heels embedded into the ground. In this position, you're going to squeeze your butt cheeks together and then drive through your heels to return back to your initial position. Throughout the entire exercise, I want you to focus on keeping your elbows high. Also keep the feeling that you're shoving your elbows towards each other. That will keep tension on your shoulders. You need to keep good back posture throughout the entire exercise. Keep your abdominals contracted and keep the feeling that you're pushing your chest forward. So how deep should you be squatting? Only squat to the depth that you're able to maintain good technical posture in your back. Common squatting problem is shown here. It's what we call the butt wink. The person to the right, it's their pelvis is starting to rotate backwards slightly, so you get that rounding in the lower back. If that is happening to you, do not squat that deep. We want to make sure that you have good back posture throughout the entire exercise. Another common problem is having your knees collapse inwards towards each other. We need to keep our knees pushed outwards throughout the entire movement. Another common problem is not being able to keep your heels embedded into the ground. This could be because of a mobility restriction in your ankle joints or your hips. What you can do is place a weighted plate underneath each of your heels. This will help you be able to keep your weight going through your heels and into the plate and help you keep good posture. For breathing in this exercise, you want to inhale when you're standing tall in your starting position. You're going to hold your breath as you descend in your squat. As you powerfully squeeze your glutes and drive through your heels, you can exhale as you're returning back to your starting position. Once again, once you're standing tall, you can take another inhalation.